Hi guys, this is Jacob from Meola, back with a new video and a new installment, if you will, on my channel here. I've been inspired by other VC members and channels that I subscribe to and that I enjoy, where they show the records that they've been listening to in, say, the past week or two, just to basically just to share some great records and sometimes some not so great records, but just giving the people who follow the channel an impression of what music is under the needle on the turntable. And I decided that I wanna also do that, and I have 7 records here. It's not a lot. I haven't had the time to listen to that much or that many records in the past week. It's been really busy. For instance, this weekend I took part in a thing here in Denmark. We have something that we call in Danish stafet for livet, which in English is like a relay for life. So basically this is an event that takes place in a lot of cities all over the country, where during 24 hours we either walk or run, or in my case ride our bikes to donate money to the charity in Denmark here that is fighting cancer. And what this is that it takes place over 24 hours, and it takes place normally in like a stadium or a field or whatever, and they set up like a small lane, if you will. And the more rounds on the lane or in the stadium that you complete, well then depending on the agreement you've made with your sponsor then donates a certain amount of money for each lap or each kilometer or each half marathon or whatever. And I took part in that here during the weekend. I did some walking on the stadium, and we did just around a 50 kilometer bike race. A lot of people took part, and all in all, I think it was around 90,000 Danish kroner that our little island here managed to donate to this charity fighting cancer. 90,000 kroner, what is that? I think somewhere between $12,000 and $15,000, which is really good. We were just over, I think we were 450 people who took part in the event, and I'm really happy to be a part of that, and to do my thing, and to do whatever I can to help getting rid of this horrible disease. So yeah, that was my weekend basically. So I didn't get around to listening to much music, but that does not matter when you could help out a good cause. But these are some of the records that I've been listening to, say, in the past 2 weeks or so. I want to show this one. This is War, All Day Music, out on Far Out is the record label here. You can see the, I think it's on it's on United Artists Records, I can see here. That's the label right there. This is a US pressing, and this is one of the copies that came over to Europe and was sold at a reduced price. And what they did then is that they punched a hole through the cover here. So it has this punch hole. And this is not an original press. I'm sure this is a repress of some sort. I don't know much about War. This is the only record that I have and that I've listened to. It's a good record. There are some really great up-tempo soul songs on this. There were also some ballads where I kind of lost my concentration and just kind of zoned out. All in all, it's a good record, and I'm definitely gonna hang on to this one. and I'm gonna listen to it more to, you know, to get more familiarized with it. Good songs and some songs that didn't really do anything for me. Next record I want to show you, however, I really loved. I'm a big fan of Scott Walker and the Walker Brothers, and I picked this up a long time ago at a flea market at a very low price. I think around $1 or something. This is the Walker Brothers and their album called Portrait, out on, which label is this? On Philips. Also a reissue. You can see the label here. And this is a great record. I love this big orchestral, yeah, just this big pompous sound, and they just sing so beautifully. And you know, with the orchestra and you know, wearing their hearts on their sleeves, this is a really good record, a really good album. The record itself is in not very good shape. There was a lot of background noise and a lot of crackles and so on, but it's playable, and it's okay to listen to. I'm not worried that my pickup will get damaged in any way. Really happy to add this to my collection. I don't have that many albums. I think I only have one solo album by Scott Walker. I think I have 3 or 4 albums from the Walker Brothers. 2 of them may even be compilations with their best songs. But yeah, this is a really great record. There's a cover on here, for example, of Summertime. Yeah, there are just some really great songs on this one. So the Walker Brothers, Portrait. I recommend this. An album that I would not recommend is this one, called U-Vox by the British band Ultravox. Ultravox, of course, I think they started in the late 70s, and they made some highly acclaimed records, and then their lead singer, I think, skipped the band, and then Mitch Ure joined the band, and then they had their biggest hit, Vienna, which was a worldwide hit in 1981 or 82 or something like that. This is from 1986, and it's very easy to hear that this is from the mid-80s, and I don't mean that in a good way. This is, the songs are not that good. The songwriting just lacks a lot. The instrumentation here is just really you know, typical classical mid-80s, very much synthesizers and yeah, I don't necessarily mind synthesizers in music, and I don't, you know, there's a lot of mid-80s music that I like. This one, I just really did not enjoy this one. The songs are poor, the lyrics are not great in my opinion. Yeah. Ultravox, I bought this one and I think 3 other albums at a flea market at a very low price. The 3 other records are earlier albums from the beginning of the 80s, and I'm gonna, I think, enjoy those a bit more. This one is just really mid-80s, not good. But in my opinion, you know, this is just my opinion here. You may have this album and enjoy it. I did not. Next one is also a mid-80s record, and that also is very easy to hear. I listened to this, Jean-Michel Jarre, the French electronic composer. This is a live album in concert, Houston and Lyon in France. Basically, this concert he did in Houston in 1986, in April of 1986. And this was not long after, I believe, that the Challenger spaceship exploded over, I think, Houston, right? Wasn't it in Houston that they had their liftoff, and it was in the air for 73, 74 seconds or something, and then the whole thing exploded. I believe that disaster was not too long, before this concert here took place in Houston. This was televised all over the world, and as I listened to the record and I looked at the cover and the photos here on the inside the gatefold, I started to remember. I think I actually saw something on television back then in 1986 when this concert was recorded, and it was indeed a worldwide thing. And Jean-Michel Jarre was maybe at the top of his career here. He had just released in 1986, also maybe it was 85, the album called Rendezvous, and there are also some songs from that album on this one. Let me just show you the track list here. This is side 1, where you have you have Equinox and you have Oxygen 5, some of the more well-known songs, and then on side 2 is a lot of the songs from the Rendezvous album, finishing off with Rendezvous 4, which was a big hit. I'm not necessarily a big Jean-Michel Jarre fan. I enjoyed parts of this album, and there were some parts that I did not enjoy. This also has, suffers from being from the mid-80s, so it has like a Kenny G saxophone thing going. It has the slap bass that was just horrible in my ears, at least. So part of this sounds like like really good Jean-Michel Jarre music, and part of it sounds like a really horrible Miami Vice soundtrack. And so there are definitely hits and misses on this one. It's out on Polydor, and it is a German pressing. It's even a West German pressing, because of course in 1986 the two Germanys were still separated. So yeah, I got also from Jean-Michel Jarre, if you saw some of, I think my was it my third last or second last video, I got this one and 3 other Jarre albums at a flea market for like $1 each, and this is the one that I listened to first, and I'm gonna keep it. I think, at least for now. But yeah, good songs and bad songs on this one as well. You can't win them all. Now, from the same flea market where I got the Jean-Michel Jarre, I also picked up this one, which is El Di Meola and Elegant Gypsy. El Di Meola is an American fusion jazz guitarist, and this album is from 1977. It's on CBS. That's the back side of the cover here. And with the title Elegant Gypsy and the very Spanish looking lady here, and the back, the photo on the back cover here, you get very quickly get an idea that this album is, sorry, there's glare from the lamp in front of me, is very much inspired by Mediterranean music, by Spanish music, and you have song titles like Mediterranean Sundance, Rage with Devil on the Spanish Highway, Lady of Rome, Sister of Brazil, Flight Over Rio, Midnight Tango. So you get the point of this album here. It's actually a very good album. There are some really decent songs on this one. All instrumental. Was there lyrics or was there vocals on a couple of songs? I don't recall now. I don't think there were vocals on any of the songs. It's quite a good late 70s fusion Latin jazz album, and this is the first album I own of El Di Meola, and I'm definitely gonna gonna look out for more records by him if I see some when I'm out digging. Yeah, this was a good album if you like light fusion jazz with sort of like an exotic feel to it, if you will. This is a pretty good album. So check it out. So 3 more records to show you. I'm gonna do these as quick as I can. This one I listened to. Gonna take it out of the plastic cover here. This is Madonna and a Bulgarian pressing of her Like a Virgin album. Originally, of course, as you may know, Like a Virgin was released in 1984. This was this reissue here, if you will, was released in 1987. And like I said, it's a Bulgarian pressing. I'm a big Madonna fan, and I buy anything that I can find that I don't have already. And I just had to get this. This was just too cool to not buy. So you have the song titles here in English, of course, as you know them. And then they're also over here in Bulgarian, which is really cool. So I posted this also on Facebook and said that it was called Kamogeba, as this is how I read this. And then a guy actually from Bulgaria commented saying, actually it should be, it's the, you know, the title is this one. So it's not Kamogeba, it's like, I don't recall now, but it was just slightly off. But then again, Bulgarian is not my first language, and but this was really cool. I think I got this at one of the local stores here, relatively cheap. I'm not gonna even try to pronounce that record label here, but you're very welcome to try it home if you want to. I'm gonna skip that. That's a really cool item in my Madonna collection, and obviously I played this because Madonna recently on August 16th turned 60. And obviously if Madonna turns 60, that means that all the rest of us are also getting older very quickly. Which I'm not sure really how to handle, to be honest with you, but hey, that's the way it goes. The 2 last records I want to show you are both, they have a thing in common, they're both from the year of 1980. That's because I saw Vinyl Richie's video, Gimme 10 albums from 1980, your top 10 favorites. So I'm listening to 1980 records to get my top 10 finished, and you know, the way that I want it. So first one I want to show you, this is a reissue from 2002. This is Scientist versus Prince Jammy, and the album called Big Showdown 1980, a Big Showdown at King Tubby's. This is a dub record, reggae or dub. This is a reissue on green sleeves record here. So basically what this is 2 guys battling, if you will, with the best dub songs. So you can see on both sides, you have a round 1, you have a round 2. Actually, no, you have a rounds 1 to 10, sorry. There's a side 1 and a side 2. So they take turns on remixing and doing the best dub songs, the best dub sounds, basically. I just love this cover. It's like a boxing match. Yeah. I'm not sure who wins. I'm not sure whether I like Scientist's grooves or Prince Jammy's grooves the most. This is a really cool album. If you're into dub, if you're into reggae, you need to check this out if you can find it. Mostly instrumental. Some songs have vocalists on here. For example, the great Horace Andy. His name kind of slipped my mind there. Horace Andy, who of course you may know from his singing duties with Massive Attack on I think all of their albums so far. He's been singing. He's also touring with them. He does vocals, the vocals from Skylarking, one of his very old, very legendary songs. So there's some vocals from him on here, but yeah, this is a great dub record. If you're into reggae, if you're into dub, buy this. Last record I want to show you is when I saw Vinyl Richie's top 10, I saw one album that I thought, wait a minute, I think I have this, but I've never listened to it. I traded this with a buddy of mine. He's actually starting listening to vinyl again, but back then he didn't. And basically he wanted to trim his collection. He listens to mostly black metal and death metal now. And he had some records in his collection that he didn't really want anymore. And he sent me a message on Facebook saying, you know, I have these records. If, you know, do you want them? I said, well, sure, I'll come take a look. But what do you want for them? I said, you know, I like Coca-Cola, so get me some Coca-Cola, and then you'll get the records. So I I brought him a shitload of Coca-Cola, and then I got a lot of records. And one of them was this one. This one, Dead Kennedys, Fresh Fruit for Running Vegetables, originally released in 1980, like I said. This is a reissue from '81, but also on Cherry Red Records, and of course features the DK logo here. This was my first listen, and it's a good album. I can hear it. You know, you have Holiday in Cambodia, you have California Über Alles, or Uber Alles as they say. You have Kill the Poor, you have the cover of Viva Las Vegas, you have Chemical Warfare. There's some good songs on here, a lot of energy, a lot of a lot of great energy. I think that I would have loved this even more if I'd heard it like many years ago, and if I had been you know, 16, 17 when this album came out, I would have loved it. I was 3 when this came out, so I was not listening to Dead Kennedys at that time. It's a good album. I'm gonna listen to it more. Unfortunately, the record skips on side 2, but it's nothing that is too much of a big deal. So I'm gonna be still playing it and giving it some more spins, because I think that I'm gonna like this even more. You know, the more I listen to it, I'm gonna enjoy it more and more. So yeah, I'm not sure they will make my top 10 though, because there are some really good albums that came out in 1980 that I enjoy more than this. But I liked it, and maybe one day. So yeah, those were the records that I wanted to show you this time round. 7 records. Still took me 23 minutes. One day I'll get around to doing short videos. I'll promise that I'll get better in doing that. So thank you for watching. Thank you. See you soon. Bye.